All right, hold on. I gotta get. Let me just make sure. There we go. All right, Twitter stream's good.
Half a second there.
Oh god.
All right, and there we go. Okay, looks like everything is ready to go.
I'm getting my
Hi.
snacky.
And welcome to another episode of Films and Fandoms with Kaylee. This episode, sorry, we're all a bit just
Frazzled.
frazzled for today, so this is going to be fun.
God help me.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like blushing really badly right now.
Seriously, send me strength. Granted, actually,
you got this, babe.
I need wisdom.
Okay.
If I can strength
Well, that I can't really help.
no. I'm trying to get Jet to guest star. Up, come on.
Oh,
Up. Yes, go.
yeah. Hey,
Go, boy.
Jet. Good boy.
I'll try to get him to do that a couple times during the podcast. The last time he did that, he was all zoomy and energy and barky and whatever, so I kind of yelled at him for doing it. I'm trying to get him to learn that it's okay to do something when I tell you to do it.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways. Hello. You okay?
It's a sensory thing.
Alright, you good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good,
Hello.
I promise.
Okay. And welcome to another episode of Films and Fandoms with Kaylee. I am once again joined by Alex and Cameron.
Hi. I don't know what the heck that was. Just ignore that.
I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. I've done worse. It's okay. And today, well, before I start this episode, I'd like to thank our parent company, napco.org, our electrical design consultants, West PA Systems. And if you want to support the podcast and support me as a creator, you can buy a copy. You can go to my Ko-Fi, Films and Fandoms. And yeah. And also you can view my acting page at kaylasantelacting.com. Oh. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Kaylee does not know how to work the dang system today. And I'm also distracted because freaking phone. Okay, so today's episode we are going to be talking about Leverage, Season 1, Episode 8, The Mile High Job.
One of my favorite episodes ever.
Yes.
Same. Alex, just don't forget to breathe.
I can't promise anything, but I'm sorry.
That's why I'm telling you.
Do you think I'll listen? Hell no.
Probably. Yeah, this episode is called The Mile High Job. And a bit of an episode summary. Yes, meat and M&Ms. Bit of an episode summary. A teen takes a case to help a young couple gather evidence for a trial against the company responsible for the death of their child and discover that the CEO of the company has assets on a plane. But when the job takes a dangerous turn and the stakes become higher, it's up to Hardison to save the team and everyone on the plane from 3,000 miles away. The director for this episode is Rob Minkoff. And the writers for this episode are John Rodgers, Chris Downey, and Amy Berg. Who has a freaking train? Rude.
Well, I do live in a town that has a train.
I live
track
behind the
running
hospital,
right
so
through
I
it.
get it.
Yeah.
There's a train across from Jet's vet office.
Mm.
So it's about a 5-minute walk from here.
All right, so the original or the date this episode aired was January 20th, 2009. And on the DVD, this is episode 5. So I believe this was right after. I can't remember, and I just looked at the DVD. All right, so first off, because the name of the episode is the Mile High Job, we got to get this out of the way first. Mile High Job, the name reference to Mile High Club.
Everybody knows what it means, babe.
If you know, you know. Moving on. So,
I'm ashamed of you.
A.
And whatever you do, don't join the club. You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, that's not. That's,
Shame on you.
let's be honest. It is kind of relevant for this episode.
True.
That's
No.
like saying rats are relevant to snakes on a plane.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Continuing on with the actual episode.
Right.
So we open at the client meeting, and we have a young couple who are credited as Mark and Stacy Jameson. They're talking to Nate about how this man, Haldeman, left him out of his office and explained that there was no way to prove that this fertilizer that was just released led to their daughter Ashley's death. And they're having a hard time basically proving it for the civil case, or they're having a hard time proving that the fertilizer was what caused all the conditions that led to her death, because she had a pre-existing thyroid condition. When Stacy claims that it had nothing to do with her heart and they had found masses in her chest too. Which I actually did a bit of Googling.
Oh yeah, because Google is so credible.
But I actually have I say to my sources. I say to my sources. So
Of course you did.
Yeah,
Here we go. This is gonna turn into a scientific paper.
Hey.
Oh, brother.
Basically, there's a study done by the American Thyroid Association that shows that there is actually a connection between hypothyroidism and heart failure. And like basically thyroid, heart, and lungs are all sort of connected. But also heavy metal and chemical fertilizers can also have those similar issues. So,
okay, but how old was that research you read?
That I want to say recent, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, now
But basically, I was like, wait, is that actually what Ashley? That's what my thought process was. Like, wait, is what she's saying true? And then that caused me to Google. All right, but moving on from that.
But if that was a recent study done,
I don't know if it was recent. It was just something I found. All right, but also, all right, continuing on, so we're not on this.
Yeah,
Elliot has his hair half up.
I know. I saw that. I was like,
I'm just gonna put a beanie on. All right. Yeah, and also for
see
this.
what I gotta deal with? And y'all wonder why I'm the Elliot of the group. Damn it.
True. Continuing on, basically, the doctor or their doctor had testified, but Jennifer had trotted out all these witnesses who were basically paid to lie. And basically, it's not about the money. They just don't want Haldeman to get away with this anymore, is what it comes down to.
That makes sense.
And as I kind of got into a bit earlier, basically this issue is that the Jameson's attorney needs burden of proof. So basically they need something that absolutely proves that Jennifer knew what it was doing when it was releasing this fertilizer.
Yeah, like a paper trail or something like that. That can actually pinpoint the exact time of exposure to prove that this actually did happen. This is here's the proof, basically.
Yeah. And Jennifer has basically been stonewalling to keep the research reports away, which, as Sophie points out, means they have something to hide. And Nate says that that is the smoking gun, and they're gonna find the smoking gun. So then we cut to it is 4:10 in the morning at Jennifer. It's dark out. And Nate, Elliot, and Parker are heading to Haldeman's office while Sophie is distracting the security guard.
Which was literally A+ work. I absolutely love her.
Security by playing a French party girl trying to find a rave, and her GPS is broken.
Okay, but aren't we missing a member here?
Yeah, I was about to get into that. But the main security guard who has all the lines is Jeremy Roenick, who, for those hockey fans out there, he's a hockey player for the NHL, and apparently likes doing cameos and had done like a bunch of interviews and that too on like the sports networks. Sports is my brother's thing, not mine.
That explains where you got all your information.
It was on IMDb. But Sophie is playing this guard like a fiddle. And one of the things she says, which is supposed to be like a tongue-in-cheek reference to the fact that Jeremy Roenick's a hockey player, is she says, you must be very good with your hands. Which, Sophie, I mean, it worked.
I mean, it fits with what she does later with the luggage.
It kind of does, yes.
That broke me. Oh.
Breathe, Alex.
I'm trying.
So basically, Sophie's able to get them away from the computers, which allows Parker to drop down from the vents to let Elliot and Nate in. And Nate says our Haldeman's office is on the 30th floor, and Elliot's wearing a beanie.
Where is my beanie anyway? I don't even know.
And the fingerless gloves too.
Does have the fingerless gloves, yes.
I used to have those.
But usually when Christian Kane's wearing a hat, it's because he hurt himself.
True.
Surprise, surprise.
Or he's trying to keep his hair out of the way.
Okay, but why would
Maybe.
he do that? He knows we love his hair.
True.
Seriously.
Speaking of which, this is what I'm dealing with.
Oh my god.
That's what I used to deal with before I shaved my head.
I didn't want to shave my head.
Oh,
I've
right
already done
here
that
is
once.
lucky because I got out of the shower earlier. But yeah. So yeah, Sophie's still flirting with the guard, and they go up to this. They go to the elevator, but they realize they don't have the key card to bypass the security timer. Now it's like, I hate to say it, but what we could really use right now, and Nate's like, don't even say his name. I don't even want it spoken aloud.
He's like, shut your mouth.
We gotta love Nate in that part. Just don't.
Because the one team member missing is Hardison. And because Hardison's not there, he can't bypass the security timer, which means they gotta walk up 30 flights of stairs.
It looks like he's gonna die.
I know. I have a note.
But Parker's the
saying that-
only one that's not having like a
No. Well,
Not-
reaction.
her and Elliot aren't
Well-
like, really hardly at all.
Well, Nate's probably a bit out of shape and he's a drunk.
know.
So
True. And I'm like, well, considering who we kind of have an idea of who Elliot is.
I'm drinking soda, by the way. This is cherry cola.
Yeah, that's so. Don't be
Yes.
shooting us any comments.
Yeah, the fact that we
It's
kind of
true.
know at this point, we have an idea of who Elliot is. It wouldn't surprise me that he's not out of breath.
Okay, but
Well-
even if he was, how often does a person walk up 30 flights of stairs?
Well, you can kind of tell by the way Elliot's holding his face that he has this like,
Like, it's uncomfortable.
well, that,
Yeah,
but he's also
borderline.
like getting in a headspace to like push through it.
Yeah.
And then later kill Hardison.
Yes.
True.
But I think that's kind of part of, I think, the military background
Yeah, that's
that
what I
we
was
get of
thinking at.
Elliot.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, he probably had to carry a lot of gear. That
Yeah.
equivalent of 30 flights of stairs,
In
distance
multiple
wise.
different types of conditions.
Yeah, so he trained his body not to react. Pretty cool.
Or at least push through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When do we get to the part where we see Hardison?
In a minute.
Okay.
But when they get to the door to go to or to get out of the stairwell, there's another keypad. And Parker's like, I'm going to kill him. And it's like, not if I get to him first. Then Parker pulls out a bomb. So she sets the timer for 5 seconds
With no warning.
and they run down. Like, you'd think they would have, like, they ran down the steps a bit. Parker set the timer.
Barely enough time.
Yeah.
That's typical of
Elliot's over
Parker.
here like, damn it, Hardison.
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, it's kind of a combination of damn it, Hardison and damn it, Parker.
A bomb.
Okay. We can't let Parker have a fork, but we can let her have a bomb.
Yeah, how does that work?
Yeah,
Where
we
did
can't
she
let her
even
have a
get a
fork
bomb?
and tasers. No tasers or a fork for her.
I can do
But they let her have a bomb.
Where did she even get the bomb?
What the hell?
I don't think I want to know.
I don't want to know.
It's Parker.
Although-
Do we even question it? Do we want to question
No,
it?
we don't ask questions when it
Yeah,
comes
she
to
probably
Parker.
could have made it. She could have made that bomb herself, for all we know.
No, that seems more like something Elliot would do. Maybe
That
Parker-
is something Elliot would know.
True.
Like he
Maybe
just
he
has
had
it,
it somewhere, like the parts.
or he
and it was
has a
half built.
guy,
I mean,
or he has a guy.
He probably has a guy that
Elliot has a
he
guy
paid.
for everything. Remember
He
Redemption?
did.
He's like, this guy owes me a favor. He can get you this. This guy owes
Oh
me
yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's got a
He
guy.
does have a
Oh,
guy.
yeah. With the painting.
You have a guy that'll do whatever the task was that I can't remember the details of.
Like you're
And
telling me you know someone who nasty enough to pick.
And I'm pretty sure Elliot said something along the
No.
lines of, I think he would
It's a
still
big
owe me.
favor.
It's a big favor. I think he would still owe me.
Yep. That was pretty
Because I mean,
hilarious.
the cat, you told him the check had cash so he could stop digging. Okay, so this is kind of a cool transition shot because as the bomb timer hits 1, it cuts to the microwave timer hitting 1 and it's dinging. Where we see it is in the Leverage HQ kitchen, where Hardison
Is making a damn hot pocket.
is making a hot pocket. Yep. But
Everybody knows because he takes it out of the microwave as soon as it beeps.
no, that's not it. That's not just it. It doesn't have the sleeve.
I don't use the
Exactly. That
You
pissed
don't
me
put
off.
it on the plate. It's not in the sleeve. It's not on a paper plate or a paper towel.
Or an actual plate.
No, I just
You
stick it in the microwave.
What
How
the
is
hell
put
is
my
wrong
stuff-
with you?
I always put like if I'm
Wait,
heating
never mind.
something
I
in the
don't want
microwave.
to know the answer to that.
Well, no, because you're supposed to heat it for 2 minutes, 1 minute on each side.
Yeah, in the sleeve.
I don't use the sleeve.
Why?
I throw mine in. That's what I should do. I have an air fryer oven. I can put it in the air fryer oven for 2 minutes. Boom! There we go.
But no, I don't blame Hardison for not using the sleeve. That thing's a fucking nightmare.
The fact that he couldn't
No,
wait
but then
30 seconds to eat the damn thing.
he couldn't have even like grabbed a plate to put it on. Like he just grabs
Or
it
a
with his
paper
bare
towel or
hands.
That's
something.
what I do. But I'm
Which
smart
I
enough
was
to
like,
take a minute
you-
to cool.
Just like you dumbass, you know that is going to be hot as hell, and you're going to burn your fingers.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
drops
you're
it.
gonna burn your
Yeah, because he
Please.
drops it immediately as he grabbed it, and
On
5
the
second
damn
rules. So
floor.
he just
He
eats it.
picks it
He just
up.
picks it up and eats it off the damn floor.
The way that he picked it up was
Hardison.
like this.
You are
When he
a
picked it up was
grown
like
ass
this.
adult. You know better.
Yeah, he's like,
See,
that had me
that's what
dying. I was
What-
cracking up. I could barely write.
Yeah, when
And-
it does that, when you're holding it, hot, like a fucking hot potato, that's when I'm smart enough to put it on a plate.
You should have it in the microwave on a plate so you don't have to worry about burning your fingers. You could just take the plate, hold on to the plate, take it out, set it on the counter.
You can
Go
still
get your
burn
drink or
yourself with the
whatever.
plate.
I
You can still burn
I
Not if
yourself
you
with
grab
the
the
plate. I've done
edges.
that.
I eat it right there when I take it
Bruh.
out.
Just don't put your
I've
hand
done that
underneath where you
before.
got the hot pocket.
I've done that before. I've
I've
burnt
been
myself
burnt
with the
before.
plate.
Or use a fork to drag it on a plate.
Here we go with forks again.
Or tongs, I don't freaking know.
Damn it.
All right, continuing on.
We got distracted.
So, yes, because hot pocket.
I had
Anyways, back at Jana Grove, Parker gets them into Haldeman's office. And as Parker and Nate check out the filing cabinet looking for like a paper trail,
because obviously it would be that easy to fucking find.
well, it's the first obvious place to look. And, babe, you should know this by now. Rich people are stupid.
Good point.
Fair.
So they would hide it in the most obvious freaking place.
True.
Because they
Lock
stupid.
that drawer.
But at HQ, Hardison's watering a plant as he's eating his hot pocket. Which, this plant...
Obviously dead.
No, it's not dead.
Well, it looks like
Because
it
the
to me.
idea... Well, hold on, I think I might know why. Well, the plant was supposed to be setting up a running gag that started way back in the homecoming job when Parker says about how she bought a plant.
Yeah.
So there was going to be scenes
after-
throughout the season.
Offices, Hardison was talking about, put a plant in your office.
Yes, and Parker got a plant. But the idea was there was supposed to be scenes throughout this series of Hardison watering this plant. But it was going to be revealed at the end that it was a fake plant. Which is probably why it looks dead, because it's a fake plant.
Poor Hardison.
But that never went anywhere because I don't know why.
Oh, that would have been
Probably just
hilarious.
forgot about it.
Well, no, I think like stuff got cut for time and for like continuity when they like rearranged the order,
Yeah.
which is I still don't have an answer as to why they switched the order.
Right.
That makes me big mad. I was like, my brain doesn't like.
I mean, I get the like filming out of order. Like sometimes that happens, just depending on like schedules and locations. Like I get that, but like writing a series and then reordering it after you've written it,
That's stressed out.
I don't know.
I just realized I've been up for over 12 hours now.
Oh,
Me too. Me too.
Well, because
Jeez.
partially because I worked this morning
mm.
and I got up at 4 freaking o'clock in the morning, so I've been up for about 14 hours now.
I've been up for about 13.
Eh,
I woke
I
up.
my
was
brain
up
don't
at
wanna
I was
work.
up at 4 this morning too. 'Cause yeah, so that's why we're all frazzled.
Yeah.
But continuing on, so Parker and Nate are still looking through this files, trying to find a paper trail. Then Hardison logs into his computer as Parker logs into the computer in Haldeman's office.
Which was
It's funny, he's like yawning,
timed and
and he
timed.
swipes his fingerprint to unlock the computer. And then he sees that the earbuds are live, and you can see his eyes just go big because he's like, it's like that odd the TikToker like, oh, I fucked up. Oh,
He's
I
like,
fucked up.
oh no.
I fucked up bad. Like Dad's
It's
going
like,
to be pissed.
it's like he had the brief moment in his head. I don't know why, but this popped in my mind. It's like with Jean, it's like when Jean loses the car to Bella. Like, son of a bitch!
I'm a bitch.
Just like that. He had that brief moment in his mind.
So was it so much as a yeah, that was kind of a bit of when Dean loses the lottery tickets to Bella.
Yep.
Because that son of a bitch was more like son of a bitch. I got played.
Yeah. That was also
I was improv by Jensen.
Yeah, that was all Jensen.
Yeah.
It was that genuine of like
just the way Hardison eyes get like so big, and you can seriously because he has his like
He's like
fist up to his mouth like, oh, I fucked up.
he's like,
I fucked up.
And doesn't he grab his comm?
Yeah, he does, and then he puts it in, and it's like, hey.
Guys?
he tries to be slick.
He tries, and he's
But
like
it
trying to
doesn't
play
work.
off, making the excuses like his electricity went out.
He's like,
And it's like, next time I see ya. But before he could threaten Hardison anymore, Haldeman exits out of the elevator. So what's interesting is Elliot like flashes the light to like get their attention. It's like, hey, we got company. But Hardison's able to hack into the security system as like but parts like so they go to like hide. But Parker forgot the computer. Like turn off the computer last second.
Yeah, just the monitor.
Which like Parker, come on.
right? Yeah.
That's like the first thing I do. Like,
Yeah, no shit.
I make sure the monitor's off. Like, I make sure the computer's off. I make sure my mouse is off. Everybody knows.
Elliot in the corner just counting down.
Yep. The way that he's like crouched down is adorable.
It's just like
Yeah, it's like this. And he's just holding the flashlight like this. Look
Yeah,
at his forehead. He's
I
like,
love how he gets the countdown like
Yeah.
perfect.
He's like counting down. Yeah.
I know.
But see, so Elliot, the hiding.
that's creepy.
These are the hiding. These are our hiding places that they chose. Elliot is hiding between a wall and a copier. And Haldeman, I guess he's like distracted on his phone, so he's not really paying attention because Haldeman's on the phone talking about a flight to the Caymans that takes off in an hour and about assets needing taken care of or whatever. But Nate's hiding behind the desk and he's like crawling to like stay out of view.
Can I mention something?
Yes.
Keep that asset thing in mind for later.
Oh, yes, that is an important thing to note.
I caught that.
Yes. So
I didn't write that down.
yeah, Halterman goes in his office, and Hardison takes like the liquid that takes this phone call to mean that Halterman's liquidating.
Liquidating.
Yeah, liquidating. And then Nate realizes that Halterman is firewalling, and he's basically going to bankrupt the agricultural division. And because it'll become a mess of creditors, their clients won't be able to win this civil suit.
Just
Liquidating.
Yeah,
Harry
he's
Langel's
basically-
on.
Of course he
oh
is.
my god.
Liquidating. Yes, Perry. Liquidating.
Damn it, Perry.
I ain't even drinking alcohol. This is great.
I'm on a sugar high, so we'll see about that.
Yeah. So.
Shut up, Barry.
Look, we have a lot of facepalm moments, Perry. Shush.
This is literally all that is, babe. Just
It is. It is. It is, yeah.
It's like, ugh,
Anyway, so Nate says they're going to
Where's
get
the
on
Elliot
this flight.
when you need it.
Mm,
right.
yeah, so. Yeah, it would have been so much bigger. Would have worse. Yeah, so anyways. Elite's concerned they're not going to, like, make it on this flight in time. But Nate's like, these guys killed kids. Like, they killed a bunch of kids. And, like, there's no way in hell we're going to let them get away with this.
He's got a
So they got to get on it.
certain, like, protective, like, edge to his voice that I thought, oh, he's pissed.
Yeah. As we see come up a few times, kids are a sort of
Sore spot for him.
sore spot
Well,
for Nate.
they're a sore spot.
Yeah. Yeah, kids are a sore spot for Nate. Yeah, so then what's funny is when they open the door to leave. Yeah, when they open the door to leave, Parker's just there. It's like, so what are we waiting for? And she's like, huh? And I was like, how did she do that? Like, he's computing in his head, and it ain't computing. And then she's like, I don't even ask anymore.
Yeah,
And Jeffrey Carey's watching. Hey.
Yeah, I had that written down. Nate goes like, how'd you do that? Looking at Elliot like, do you know what's going on with her? And he's like, I don't even ask anymore.
No, they don't ask anymore.
And Elliot looked disappointed.
Yeah.
Like the disappointed big brother.
It is a bit. No, so
Oh,
They-
that had me
Hardison.
crying.
he's doing a bit of a sucking up here. And he's like, don't worry about the stairs. I got you a ride down. Which I wish there should have been a line about, like, Hardison sucking up because he fucked up. I just think that would have been funny, but that's just me. Then in a big brain move here, they basically just start running past security, yelling that there's a big furry thing chasing them, and the security guards. Somehow that freaking works.
It's just like, wait,
It's so what I'm drinking is a delicious Americana cherry cola. Got it from my local ice cream shop. I like glass bottles. Tastes a mile high job. Get your head out of the gutter, Jeffrey.
damn it, Jeffrey.
Keep
All
it
right.
clean, bud.
It is quality, Barry. Yeah. All right, moving on. So now they arrive at the airport and the sun is up. So I think it's roughly like, because they say the flight leaves in an hour.
Yeah.
which means theoretically it should be like 5 a.m. Like around 5 a.m.
Yeah, so the sun should be barely coming up, but it's bright as day out. Like completely.
So
It's like it's new.
I don't know if this was
That was a continuity error.
Or because doesn't it get real sunny early in the summer?
Yeah. About
So
5 o'clock in the morning. Roughly.
And it's just cool enough that they would need to wear jackets.
True.
So it is probably during the summer.
Don't hurt your head thinking about it.
Yes, babe. So
Kaylee,
the teams.
quit it.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing nothing.
Don't make me do the thing after we get done here.
Oh, I didn't know they were
Hey,
in Miami.
I don't need the photo to do it. I'll do it right fucking now.
Please don't.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
Moving on. So they're walking through the airport, and Hardison is booking them tickets to get on a flight, or to get on this flight. And the flight, Hardison gets 2 first-class tickets, which Nate and Sophie take. And Hardison asks what IDs they have on them. And so everyone starts like looking through coat pockets, jean pockets. Nate says he has the aliases, or he has the IDs. Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy, and Tom Baker. Which,
Geeky reference.
yes, geeky references, but also
Doctor Who.
specifically Doctor Who. Yep. And there are 3 actors who play the Doctor in classic Doctor Who.
And this, I'm gonna side note. This is not the first time we'll get to hear the Tom Baker alias.
Well, just Doctor Who aliases in general.
Yeah. I love that. I was like,
because y'all know our
Hardison.
Hardison made those aliases, and obviously learned to watch his Doctor.
And it's the age of the geek, baby.
Is it though?
it is.
Yes, it is the age of the geek.
We run the world.
Yep, we run the world,
What are
baby.
you looking at?
I had to finish the quote. I'm sorry.
And Sophie has Sarah Jane Baker. That's one of her aliases, which is
Yeah,
one of the Doctor's companions.
Yeah, she played one of the companions.
If I was a geek, I'd punch myself in the face. Save Elliot trouble.
Well, and technically, if you want to think about it, the first Doctor Who reference we got was having Mark Sheppard come on as Sterling. Because he was on Doctor Who.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Of course he was.
And I'm a fan of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of myself.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't even watch the show, so I don't understand half the crap you're saying.
Okay. Mark Sheppard was on Doctor Who and for the 11th Doctor. And he played a character called Clayton Delaware Everett III.
That's a mouthful.
Well, he's like a Secret Service agent.
Yeah, and he's very sassy about it when he introduces himself.
Oh.
No.
God.
Actually, funny story. When I met Mark Sheppard at Memento Con, during his panel, there's a lot of Doctor Who references though, Perry. But when I met Mark Sheppard at Memento Con last year, it was during his panel, I got to ask a question, and I was asking what his favorite character was that he played, and I started listing off some of my favorite characters, and that's what I said. But then he was coaching me through Clayton, Delaware, Everett, the third.
Aw, that's cute.
I
I would have
I would
if I ever meet him, like
Mark Shepard is he like walked through the crowd a time. It was fun.
yeah. Like if I ever like meet him at a convention, I'd be like, and he asked me that question, like, freaking Sterling, and he's like, what? That's gonna be his reaction.
I'd be like, Mark, straight up, I love you, but I hate Sterling and I hate Crowley.
Same.
I'm gonna stab them both in the face.
They're both the lovable bastards you love to hate.
Okay, but you know why I hate each of them, so I don't even want to hear it.
No, I'm just like I like the fact that Mark Shepard is playing Sterling.
Yes,
they have very punchable faces. Let's put it that way.
They do.
Sorry, that's my Elliot coming out.
All right, get carrying on. Sorry, that one was my fault.
Yes, it was.
So,
Anywho,
so what's funny is after like Sophie says she has Sarah Jane, Ava Baker, Sarah Jane. Hardison's like perfect. I now pronounce you man and wife. Now go on and guess that, Brad.
heartbreak for because I was single the last time I did a leverage marathon. That was heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do another one, don't I?
I mean, I don't see a reason not to.
Jack, come here, baby. Come here, Jack.
What's funny is just Sophie happens to have a whole bunch of wedding rings in her pocket.
Convenient.
When like she like gives like her hand over to Nate when he picks one and they like put the rings on each other. And what's funny is just Nate's face is like, there we go.
It's like, of course you would have that in your pocket.
Right.
Or no, the fact that she made him put it on her.
Oh, that was cute.
Okay, but I would have done the same for it.
Yeah.
It just adds that next level of romantic when.
Well, and it's foreshadowing.
Yeah, but we didn't know that at the time.
Looking back, yeah.
Yeah,
that was foreshadowing.
Hindsight's 2020.
I suppose so.
Come here, Bubba.
Yeah.
Come here, Jack.
And
Say hi.
yeah, and Hardison goes to get another ticket for Elliot, but Elliot says he doesn't need one because he has an air marshal badge.
Which I want to know how he got a hold of that.
Really, Perry?
Perry, I don't think you're gonna meet a woman at Walmart.
You ain't gonna meet a woman at Walmart.
Why
That's
Walmart?
worth marrying.
Why Walmart though? Like, why so specific?
Because that's what we have where we live, or where he lives. Because he used to live by me, and that's all I'm saying. You know what, Perry? That is very true. You never know what level.
I mean, fair. I ended up with Kaylee, so. You know.
And I ended up with my boyfriend.
Well,
so
I wrote
fair enough.
leverage fan fiction.
Here comes.
And now here I am. So.
She wrote leverage fan fiction. I found it. I read it. She followed me on TikTok after I followed her. We ended up talking. Moved to Instagram. Eventually, we swapped numbers, and now we're dating.
Which we swapped numbers actually after. Yeah, that it's kind of a story we'll just keep to ourselves because it's kind of funny.
I might end up with somebody from Walmart.
Yeah.
Alex, you meet your boyfriend at Walmart.
Your boyfriend. Yeah, how did you meet him? I don't think you ever told me.
I went to school with him. He was 4 years older than me. We were friends. And then we reconnected when I went to his church, funnily enough, and he kept giving me crap. And then he finally, like, my mom was like, "Do you like him?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, as more than a friend. I'm like, "Yeah." Then do something about it. I was like, "Damn, woman." I'm like, all right, fine. And then I was straightforward and blunt with him. I was like, "You want to go out to eat?" And he was like, "Sure." And I'm like, and then he asked me point blank after that little date that we went on. We went to Freddy's. And I'm like, and he's like, "Are we dating or something?" I'm like, "Yes, we are."
I love that woman.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
I mean,
yeah,
it may.
we were technically kind of, well, not really high school sweethearts, but like after high school sweethearts, kind of, in a way. And
You're not
not to
that
mention,
girl at Walmart, I promise you.
Trust me, Perry. I know the type of women that exist at a Walmart. No.
You don't want them. You're not gonna.
No.
Sorry to anybody who goes to
try
Walmart.
K Jewelers or like JCPenney's.
No, because those you get the too high class women.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Set your standards
Sorry,
high, bud. Oh, thank you, Perry.
Wait, this has turned into freaking dating advice.
Now I'm tempted to do a podcast on dating advice. Damn it.
Blame Perry. It's all Perry's fault. He's
Blame
sidetracked us.
Perry Giant Eagle is the same damn thing. So, carrying on before we get too sidetracked.
I mean, ask Corn Daily, how hard can it be?
All right, carrying on. So, Nate decides to give Parker a day job. So she's going to be a flight attendant. And so they need to get Parker a uniform and clear out a flight attendant. So Hardison makes a phone call, or Hardison calls one of the flight attendants. Their name's Becky. Sorry. And he calls as like he's from the animal control, saying they found her cat Fidget. And Fidget is the cutest freaking cat ever.
That's just a cute name.
Oh, Fidget's such an adorable name for a cat.
Especially if it fidgets a
It's
lot.
it's like a little white and black kitten. It's adorable.
So cute. So little.
Which I don't know what voice Hardison's doing.
I didn't pay attention to it. I blocked it out.
But this poor flight attendant, because Hardison's saying like, oh, like we found him, but like we can only hold on to animals for so long before we, and like he makes that noise, but then he like doesn't finish, and she's like, oh, like she goes to leave, runs into Ellie, who trips over the suitcase, so Parker can switch out the suitcases.
The way that he did the like a full body roll
He did a
pretty
full
impressive.
roll, yeah.
Yeah,
Damn
But it's
impressive.
funny. See, like he pops up, smirks, like fluffs the hair, and goes.
It's the hair thing, like
He
that.
did.
we all love it when he does that.
Yes, we do. Especially with that smirk. But anyways.
Yep.
What's funny is as this.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I feel bad for that poor flight attendant.
I do too.
I hope she
But
found
also-
Fidget.
But also not really at the same time because she's not in the middle of a drama that's about to ensue.
True. But I hope she still found Fidget.
Fidget was probably sitting right where she left him.
True.
Yeah, maybe.
We're
but
hiding under
still.
something.
Still, I hope she found Fidget, regardless of where Fidget was.
All right, enough about Fidget, damn it.
One more thing.
Oh, fuck.
No, hold on. This is actually kind of funny.
Oh no.
Fidget, the cat, is a real cat. And it's Amy Berg's sister-in-law's cat.
Aww.
That's
That's
been in a lot of
adorable.
series. Yes.
That's adorable.
Are we done with Fidget now?
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
Parker meets up with Nate, Elliot, and Sophie, who they each have a bag. Miss Sophie's like, how'd you know there'd be another uniform in the bag? And Nate's like, everyone knows that flight attendants are required to carry an extra uniform in case they get called into work unexpectedly. And Elliot adds, like, or if something happens to the one they're wearing.
Of course you would know that.
Sophie
The little
was like,
facial
and
thing
how
that he
does
did, he's
everyone know
like,
that? And at the same time, Nate says that he worked airport security. Elliot says he slept with a flight attendant.
Who has to work with that? When the fuck did you work airport security?
Nate?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Probably before insurance. It could have been like the in-between when he was becoming a priest before he became an insurance cop.
true. It was somewhere in between those two things. That's the only thing that
But,
makes sense.
Which, I mean, it makes sense that Nate probably would have, like, actually did think about this. Nate probably would know that, like, because, like, flight attendants get called into work unexpectedly. Because he's probably had to call flight attendants, be like, hey, we need you on a flight. Elliot would know why a uniform would get messed up.
Elliot.
Yep.
Just, Elliot,
Yeah,
Elliot.
Man,
And yet we still love the asshole, so.
true. He's an
He's an asshole, but he's our asshole.
True. True.
Literally me. I mean, I'm an asshole.
No, you're not.
Let's continue on, please.
Sorry.
What's funny is after they say that, though, they share a look and, like, what?
It's like, excuse me?
And Sophie just shakes in her head.
She's like, oh, boys.
Men.
Exactly. With the
That's men derogatory.
exactly. And the micro expression after she said that on both of their faces looked like they were insulted. I cracked up. I had to pause it and I was laughing so hard.
That is one thing you got to pay attention for in Leverage. Like, you could watch it, like, if you're doing something as well. But, like, if you really, like, want to pay attention, you got to pay attention to the facial expressions. Because that's
what makes it fun.
hilarious. And, like, can tell a whole completely different story. Well, so when they go through security before they get on the plane, there's some rated R toys in the bag.
They found their luggage and lost and found.
Oh shit! My mother is watching, and I just.
Oh god!
Oh shit! You want me to do this so you don't get in trouble?
Mother, we talked about this last night.
I'm watching the comment section on Facebook.
I am too. Facial expressions are everything. Moving on. No, I gotta.
I'm flustered now.
Mother, tune away.
Click off, please.
No, I did not. Damn it! I had chocolate cake. I was gonna eat. Damn it! No what? Love you too, Mother.
Okay, she's leaving.
Sorry, that was.
Oh, that was awkward. That was awkward.
Nothing like having your mother join your podcast, just as you freaking say, rated R twice.
But okay, the little thing after that, the poor TSA guy's face.
You know what? No, working in retail, where like people have to buy like
everything,
like like
stuff.
Like I've worked register and like people have bought a pregnancy test and
if that's
toys.
The worst you can list.
No, there was toys.
Oh,
Adult toys.
But okay, but what Sophie
I was
says
professional
after
about it. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
but-
Moving on.
I would have
what
it.
Wait,
Sophie
no.
said, after making eye
After you
contact
open the
with the
bag,
guy,
he's like, oh yeah,
and she smirked.
cuffs his, whips mine.
Okay, but
And then I have in quotations, parentheses, what the hell?
No, look, with what we get established later, it makes total sense.
okay, but genuine
Nope.
question:
Negative
If-
Ghost Runner. Nope. Nope.
if you're packing that kind of stuff, why would you lose it? How the frick do you lose that type of luggage?
Oh yeah, because it's lost. Oh yeah, because then when they get through, Sophie says that it was like lost and found. Yeah, that is
They
a good
could've-
point.
Yeah, they could
That
have
shit's
left
expensive.
it. Yeah, they could have left it like
I don't know, but it's like it's something you just don't freaking leave behind.
yeah, they could have like set it down somewhere to go get something and then forgot to pick up their bag or something like
I
that.
don't know. Moving or
It happens.
We carrying on. What's when he's he says like second like she smacks Nate's ass.
As
When
like,
it's like second honeymoon.
Rule 7.
Second honeymoon.
I didn't realize that was Rule 7.
Yeah, rule number 7 says. Yeah, rule number 7 says don't touch the women, but they can grab whatever they want to.
And she did.
She did. What's funny is Elliot. What's funny is as Elliot's going through, he's just shaking his head like idiots.
Yep.
this is the one
Hardison.
I don't want to let anybody watch.
Hardison. I'm gonna mark this as explicit anyways, so it's fine. Sin Hardison is in Nate's office. And he's being a bit of a nosy Nelly. He's snooping on Nate's computer,
Sitting in his chair.
sitting in his chair. And one of the quips Hardison makes is like, someone needs to get laid.
Not
But
But then
realizing.
Nate comes on comms and is like, Hardison. And he's like, oh, shit. Yep. Yeah, boss.
I'm here. What?
And and he just plays it off. He's just waiting for Nate to give directions. And Nate tells Hardison to go back to Jenna Grow and find the smoking gun.
And what else? He mentions
Has to take the whole
chair.
company down. And
And then as a little side note, he's
and
like,
then
and get out of my chair.
Hardison's like, I'm on it. So, and then Hardison, and Nate's like, Hardison's like, I'm on it. And then Nate's like, oh, and Hardison, don't forget to turn off my computer.
The way he says it, though.
Like,
I know.
I
It was like-
busted ya.
Yeah, it was like a dad busting his kid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Jimmy, how the fuck did he know?
Because it's Nate.
When did
Yeah,
that become an
it's-
acceptable answer? What the
What's funny though is Hardison's like, how in the hell?
right?
And my notice, baby brother just got caught by dad.
It's like, oh crap.
He got caught snooping. And so they go to get on the plane, and Elliot's bitching because he's in coach.
The man picked an air marshal badge. Of course he's gonna be in fucking coach. That's where
Which
everyone-
actually, I do, and at least according to IMDb, if Elliot was an actual air, or if
He would have been sitting in first class.
he would have been sitting in first class to get closer to the pilot. But
Yep.
it would make sense that Elliot wouldn't go and coach because Nate and Sophie are in first class. They need someone in each section of the plane.
Yeah.
But
And
Yeah,
of
and
course,
they would.
at the
Yeah,
same
and
time,
the air marshal usually will sit like in first class, usually on the left-hand side towards the front, usually in an aisle seat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because they.
So he has got direct eye line to the cockpit.
Yeah, but then Parker kind of implies that the flight attendant, Becky, that they cleared out, got promoted because she's sleeping her way to the top. Because she talks to the one flight attendant, is like, she promoted. She started here like a few months ago. And Parker's like, oh, she must really know how to pick them. Like, Parker, we don't do that.
She's got no filter.
She does not.
And it's adorable.
Mm. But this flight attendant uniform does make an appearance later in the first day, first day of a job. And then, so Sophie and Nate are sitting in their seats, and Sophie is like, oh, we need to establish like a background. And Nate's like, we'll use our own background. And so our wedding day is the day we met. And it was 8 years ago. But Sophie says 10. And so this becomes a thing.
This is why I have all our dates in my phone.
Okay.
Don't forget. The day we met.
Feelings.
I didn't know you had that day.
And the day we started talking. The day we started dating, everything. This is so I don't fucking forget. So you can't hold it over me.
Because I'd be the one to forget.
And then you blame me because I'd forget too.
All right.
Sorry, Alex.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Don't be crying now.
Oh, now she's blushing.
Baby.
You're blushing, Kaylee. It's adorable.
Shush.
Baby.
Makes me.
Alex, don't ruin the moment.
Okay, so yeah. Carrying on, so Parker does the whole pre-flight speech.
Which
Goes bad. It's funny, so it's like picturing the bridge of his nose, like I do not want to be putting up with this for 5 hours.
Elliot's over here like, God, I hope this plane crashes.
Yeah, he did the. And that's one of the gifts that I use quite often with Kaylee.
Yeah.
Don't I?
Yeah. When once she's done with her speech, it's like, okay, like, what do we do now, basically? And it's like, all right, we got to find what's on the flight and who has it, steal it, get it off the plane without anyone noticing before the plane lands in 5.5 hours. So the plane takes off. Nate, freaking alcoholic, has to have vodka and orange juice.
Sounds disgusting.
Elliot has a dude sleeping on his shoulder. It's
And
funny, he tries to like gently like move him, but he just goes back and he's like,
yeah.
Shoulder.
And then the guy went like this. What? Like ragdoll.
And Parker is rude to a poor woman we later learn is Marissa Devons. Oh, that's similar to my mother's name. Played by Sarah Rue, who just wants a damn ginger ale.
Our poor girl looks pale as crap.
She's
That's what I
anxious.
noticed.
She's got a nervous stomach. She just wants a ginger ale to calm her stomach. But Parker has a system, and she's messing up her system.
She gets kind of snippy with her.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. But I noticed right away, I was like, oh, she's got the nauseous stomach, like pale face, like she's about to pass out if she doesn't get something to drink.
Yeah, Dramamine, people. It works.
Yep. Get the patch. It works.
Where you could just buy over the counter.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And Sophie thought the earbuds would stop working once they got in the air, but Hardison overlaid the comm signal over the plane's Wi-Fi. So as long as they basically like stay at that altitude, they'll be fine.
Very smart of him, actually.
Yeah. But then Nate's like, all right, do you need any help breaking into Jenna Grow? Like, do you know, like, you got a plan? Do you need Parker to walk you through it? Hardison's like, no, I got this. And Hardison then goes into Jenna Grow as a Spanish aquarium cleaner. And because the guy's all frazzled, Hardison just goes in the elevator and blocks it off because he has like the 5-gallon bucket. So he changes into a suit.
Accent was horrible.
It was. It kind of was. But then Steve, you meet Steve. He meets Hardison at the second floor, or whatever floor Hardison's on. No. Yeah, the 30th floor, because that's where Hardison's office is the 30th floor.
Hardison through this whole thing was absolutely adorable.
Yeah, and then like the guy recognizes Hardison, who promptly does accuse the guy of like being racist.
Also, I have a little note about how he went from being like a janitor outfit with the onesie, it's a onesie, people, to suit and tie. I was like, he's like, yeah, he did. I said Harson's doing a Superman outfit change, like Superman in the phone booth.
Or he had the suit underneath the uniform.
Yeah, I know what I mean. That's what I mean.
Oh.
It's
like reverse Superman outfit
it
change.
Is a bit. Mm-hmm.
I'm baffled by the fact that they're able to be that fast.
Exactly. It's like, how the
heck? No, if you do it right, you can do a quick change really freaking fast. Theater kids, you know what I'm talking about. Trust me, it's not easy. Especially when you're wearing ugly ass brown lip gloss that smears. Sorry. There's also a deleted scene with the security guy showing off this image of like this furry thing that was mentioned earlier. All right. Yeah, it's a deleted scene. So back on the plane. Parker, Nate, and Sophie are at like the airplane bar. And like Parker's like, it could be anyone. But Nate rolls out the elderly, anyone with kids, and everyone under 25. Which, I mean, that makes sense. Like elderly, you're not going to put someone elderly, like trust or have someone elderly with this. You're not going to have families. Like, you're not going to have kids on a business trip. And also, anyone under 25 wouldn't be at the company long enough to be trusted with something like that.
Exactly. The fact that he can do that process of deduction was really impressive.
Yeah, because in LA, it's like, okay, like I got 14 possibles here on Coach. Which...
Okay, but how the fuck did he count that fast?
It's Elliot's job.
Fair.
But the movie that is playing on the screens is The Librarian Return to King Solomon's Mines.
Yes.
Which I need to rewatch.
It's a really good movie.
I was obsessed with that movie growing up.
Which is not only directed by Jonathan Frakes, but and produced by Dean Devlin. But Christian Kane would go on to star in the TV show continuation, The Librarians.
Which, don't get us started on that. It might turn into being a podcast, too.
Well,
I mean, we are almost done with Almost Paradise, so
we need another show.
or some movie, something.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, yeah. And I also recognize this scene that was playing, like the specific like scene with Noah Wiley on horseback in a chase. Anyways, Sophie counts 6 more in first class, and she guesses that Haldeman's going to pay for the extra leg room. And Nate suggests that they focus on carry-ons, and no one would check a bag full of cash. And Parker's like, "What? It might not be cash." And I was like, "What's it going to be, Parker? Gold bars? They don't exactly travel well."
Honestly, though, that's a B.
True. But yeah, he kind of, in that moment with her, used a little bit of the dad voice.
Yeah, but then Nate says that like Parker's right, like it could be traveler's checks or bearer bonds. And so they like split off to go search all the bags. And Elliot's checking the upper head compartments and coach. And even tells, sorry, my mom. And it tells the guy obvious giving him a dirty look for looking at through other people's luggage, because like he's looking there and he just stares at the dude and is like what? Watch the movie. And Parker's looking at through the personal bags. And Marissa asks Parker for another ginger ale, and Parker's like, "You had 2." Marissa says it's like a placebo effect and it's not really working, but it makes you feel better anyways. And Parker's like, "Yeah. So when's that supposed to kick in?"
Ouch.
But then Parker's like, if you think about it, flying isn't all that scary. Like, there's a lot more likely ways to die than a plane crash. So
Parker?
like a car crash, a house fire, electrocution, drowning, autoerotic asphyxiation, and death. And death haunts us every day, no matter where you are. But that doesn't help at all.
No, it doesn't.
So Sophie pretends to trip to distract someone so Nick can look through his personal bag. And Sophie, she kind of got a bit riled up when she goes to sit down because she's like really heavy and she's like brushing her hair out of her face. Like she just joined the Mile High Club.
That's not what I'm laughing at.
What were you laughing at?
What's coming next?
Oh. But Nate has like a slight smile on his face. So it's like, you know what that reminded me of? And it's like, yes, Paris. And Sophie just like cocks her head at him and is like, it was Tuscany. But Nate has a look on his face like, shit.
I fucked up.
Yep.
I fucked up.
He's like, it was Tuscany, not Paris. Then it's like, this is going to become a thing, isn't it? So it's like, oh yeah. So back at Jenna Grow, Harrison's talking with the woman we learned is Cheryl. And he's saying he just got transferred, and like Cheryl starts venting about Steve waiting for her to fail so he can swoop in and save the day. And like compares him to being like the rogue. She's a mage and they're part of the same guild, but secretly his work with the Alliance to undermine them. But then Hardison immediately like lights up. It smells and is like, fuck the horde. And it turns out they're both geeks and play World of Warcraft. And Also, when he's talking to Cheryl about the new expansion that was just released, he lets it slip that he stayed up all night playing it. Which that's the most YouTube clip at the time.
Of course it
And
is.
Nate has his dad voice back on and is like, Hardison, you bailed on the job because you were up all night playing a game? Then Hardison realizes he got busted. So he like opens up a cupboard acting like he was gonna get like a cup or something. And it's like, game is hardly adequate. Then Nate's like, did you even get into Haldeman's office yet? Or did you find a way to screw that up too? Like, Nate. I mean, Hardison did kind of.
Which was freaking
Like, he had a
hilarious.
job to do. And he didn't do the job. But Nate should let it go. But, like, because it's past. Like, and Hardison says, I'll figure something out. And Nate says, it's kind of an interesting Hardison analysis line where he says, you can't skate by on talent and luck forever. Which it kind of ties back into the pilot when Hardison says he has like focus issues. And we constantly see that like Hardison's main issue is that he is so good that he gets cocky. And it's not that he's not talented or lucky, like he's the best, but because he's at the best, he doesn't need to worry about the effort that he puts in because he always just figures it out. So he just relies on his natural skill than putting in the work. So yeah. Then Hardison fakes a business meeting.
Which, how long do you think it took him to think of that?
Well, seconds, because he saw the papers in the trash can.
Of course.
Then to get out of the business meeting, Hardison fakes a bathroom emergency to get into Haldeman's office. And then puts it on Steve to finish the meeting.
Which, of course,
Steve deserved it.
meeting was about.
I don't even know what it was about. But back on the plane, Parker meets with Nate and Sophie, and she has a list of items she found, which include a hat box full of euros, a pouch of uncut diamonds, and a stolen Stradivarius, which she hasn't stolen before. And Nate stops her, pulling out the dad voice, and is like, Parker,
I don't know where.
like, let it go. And this is foreshadowing because in season 3, they actually steal a Stradivarius in the Shahrazad job, where Hardison plays the Stradivarius. No, I was going to say something like personal connection I have to that episode, but I'll save that for that episode. And also the idea behind that scene was basically show that like they're all addicts. And they're addicted to stealing, basically.
Yeah, they're all addicted to some sort of form of stealing, in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they quickly come to the conclusion that those aren't the smoking gun, that those items aren't the smoking gun. Then Nate's like, Cayman Islands, go for the tan, stay for the tax shelter. And Haldeman's not doing the. Yeah, I love that. Cayman Islands, go for the tan, stay for the tax shelter.
I mean, it's kind of true.
Yeah, it is true. Hardison's in Haldeman's office where he discovers that 2 people on the flight work for Genagro. Dan Ehrlich, an ex-Navy SEAL, he's the head of security, and been at the company 6 years, and Marissa Devins, who's an accountant who's been there about 10 months. No, but not only is Dan seated in first class, Marissa and Coach, the tickets were bought at the same time using the same company card. So it's not a coincidence they're on the same flight. Nate suggests dividing and conquering. So him and Sophie are going to take Ehrlich as he's in first. Parker's going to stay with Marissa. What's funny is Sophie puts on like the puppy eyes, and Sophie's like, Nate, can we at least keep the diamonds? It's like, no, like Sophie. Like, no, you can't keep the diamonds. So Hardison sends them reference photos, but Parker has a crap moment, realizing Marissa's the accountant she's been rude to the whole time.
The moment of, oh shit.
Crap, yep. So Parker gives Marissa a pillow and like checks in with her. Oh, she's actually doing a good job. But she discovers that Marissa has no knowledge of Ehrlich. Back in first class, then Sophie fake an argument about forgetting anniversaries.
Okay, but was that really a fake argument, or were they just using an argument to their advantage?
Fair point.
Felt real.
Both. Well, come to think of it, Nate and Sophie's whole thing is that they're only honest when they're lying.
True.
What?
It's like when they're like either when they're grifting or when they're putting on another persona is when they're actually honest with each other.
Ah. Yeah, that's true.
Sophie goes to the bar and gets her flirt on with Ehrlich. As Nate goes back to the seat. But you can actually kind of tell that Sophie's doing the drink thing that we learned in the stork job. We're like tying in. Because she takes a sip when he does.
Remind me not to do that with you.
Hey! Love you, babe. Shit.
Love you too, baby.
So Hardison reveals he did some more digging by hacking into Ehrlich's phone records and called Hondo for the flight, but he's more interested in the accountant. And reveals he thinks she knows more than she's letting on as he's standing outside her office, which is basically getting turned over. So Marissa knows something. Whether she knows it or not, she knows something. So Nate comes to the conclusion that the assets on the plane weren't cash. It was Marissa. Marissa's the asset that they're liquidating. Which means
The plane's about to crash.
Well, not just yet. Because right now they've come to the conclusion that Ehrlich's there to kill Marissa. So they meet back up, or Nate, Sophie, and Parker meet up at the bar, and Sophie thinks that they should tell her. Parker doesn't want to, she's already paranoid. Sophie tells Marissa.
I want to know, as a paranoid person, like, give me a legit reason to be paranoid, damn it.
Mm-hmm. Sophie suggests Marissa has a right to know, and she could have information that could help them so she's the smoking gun. And then Nate tasks Elliot with telling Marissa as he has his badge, so she's more likely to believe his story.
Right.
So who do you, or I guess in this situation, would you want to be, like, if we were Marissa, or if you were the team, would you tell Marissa?
Alex, what do you think?
I would tell her a little bit, but not enough to freak her out. Be like, hey, there's something off about this.
Both, yeah.
But for me, not knowing everything freaked me out. So just tell me everything.
Well, I would ask if she would want to know what exactly is going on in full detail. And then if she said no, I would ask her, do you want to know a little bit of what's going on?
You want to know more implies that there is more to know.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder what else is there to know.
Exactly. So it's putting the ball in her court. But if I were her, I would not want to know in that moment that someone's trying to kill me.
Or, well, in this case, like, both have a point. Like, Parker is like Marissa's already, like, anxious about flying. Telling her she has a hit out on her is, like, could put her over the edge. And so there's another variable we have to deal with. But sort of ripping off the Band-Aid like Sophie's suggesting. Like, they rip off the Band-Aid, they might be able to get some information out of Marissa. About about their smoking gun. But I think I would have told Marissa myself.
Yep.
But I think framing is also important.
Yeah. Then you would have to deal with her reaction and deal with that. I would rather deal with
that would be part of the framing.
Yeah.
Is making it seem like we're going to protect you.
Yeah. Let her know that, we got your back. We got your six. Whether
we're here to
protect
you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're here to protect you. This is what, like, what do you know? We can protect you.
And honestly, I would trust them more than anybody in the world.
Yeah, because, well, especially Elliot, like, he goes up to Marissa and flashes his badge.
And of course, anybody is going to believe a badge.
Yeah, because that's confirmation bias. Well, not only confirmation bias, we're sort of hardwired to trust, or we're sort of ingrained to trust these authority figures until given a point otherwise. Like, until that point is challenged, we're hardwired to trust. So, yeah.
The double-edged sword of being human.
Yes. Continuing on. So Elliot takes Marissa to first class and sits her down in, like, this lounge area. And is, like, gauging what she knows. And Marissa reveals she found some accounting irregularities in the agricultural chemistry division, and some of the payments were abnormally large. Or, like, the checks were cut, but there was no actual proof that the studies were done. And the payments were abnormally large for, like, this new fertilizer safety study. And Nate, like, cues Elliot to ask Marissa if, like, she brought this up with Haldeman, which Marissa says she did, and he told her it was a process and error, which is why she's flying to the Caymans, is she's going to fix the account, basically.
That's what she thinks.
Yeah. But Elliot says like these were bribes. Like hush money, like, and it's like these payments were bribes, like they were bribes, and Haldeman paid off the researchers so they wouldn't testify. And Marissa's like what the hell is going on here? But then Parker comes up with the ginger ale and is like, the guy in Wendy wants to kill you. Ginger ale? I mean, I suppose ripping off the Band-Aid's one way to do it. But you could see Elliot has the look of like, damn it, Parker. So we cut to Sophie calming Marissa down as Nate and Elliot talk about like what this hit would look like, basically. But we get a reminder that Elliot's done sketchy shit. Because he says, like, if I were to do this. It's like, what the hell?
Hey, he worked for Monroe. We all know he did some sketchy shit here.
Of course.
Well, at this point,
He was, yeah.
At this point, we don't know.
Mercenary, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We as fans know. If you've seen the show once.
It's like he's got a punchy, hitty background at this point. That's as much as we know.
Yeah, that probably involves military.
Yeah.
Because then Elliot's like if I were to do this, I'd have 2 guys on the ground at the gate and 1 guy on the plane to make sure she gets off.
Basically, a variation of like a handler. And then like 2 bodyguards on the ground to meet them wherever they're going.
They like have 1 guy to make sure she gets off the plane.
Yeah,
Stare
then the
into
other
a
2
trap,
to intercept. Yeah. Then the other 2 to intercept her. To stop her.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So Nate suggests that Elliot go introduce himself to Dan Ehrlich. So he leaves. And back at Jenna Girl, Hardison's bored out of his mind listening to this argument between Cheryl and Steve about some new product. And
he's got his head on the desk.
And he's fully having it out for Steve, like backing up Cheryl.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess geeks got to stay together, so.
Exactly.
But luckily, Nate gives Hardison a new task, which is to get Haldeman's drive and get out. Haldeman's hard drive and get out. I was like, I really got him out of his office the first time. Like, how am I supposed to do it again? And it's like, just do it.
It's like, you'll figure something out, bud.
Yeah. But as they argue more, Hardison's like, hey, guys, like, don't be fighting. Especially on my birthday. So, yeah. She's back on the plane. Sophie's getting Marissa calm down. And I'm pretty sure Marissa's drinking rosé. Sophie's drinking white wine. Fair. I would need alcohol if I was Marissa.
True. To calm my nerves, yeah.
The one who doesn't drink alcohol, babe.
If I found out someone was trying to kill me, yeah, I wouldn't drink alcohol.
Fair.
And it's funny, so it's like, you're being very brave. And we're just like I am? It was like, yeah.
I love how she kind of doubts herself. She's like
her voice is so shaky, and she's like, I think the glass is shaking a bit. I think the glass was shaking a bit.
Her hand's going like this. It's like very lightly, like twitching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like it's okay. Like, we'll take good care of you. And like, why don't we stretch our legs? And so Sophie takes Marissa on like a bit of a walk. Then Ehrlich starts following him because he's like, okay, who is this woman talking to the target? So he's following him, and they walk past the bathrooms where Elliot is waiting to pull Ehrlich into the tiny ass airplane bathroom. It's this tiny ass airport or airplane bathroom.
It's like no wider than my bed, basically.
Yeah.
It's like tight.
Look, my freaking kitchen is bigger than this freaking bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Elliot knocks Ehrlich out, but Ehrlich has a ceramic knife, which is relevant. And what's funny is Elliot. It's funny. He like flicks the hair back, and he's like looking at the mirror. Sees he like flips the hair back. Sees he has like a cut on like beside his eye.
Yeah.
Which that's also a highly gift moment. Is like anytime Elliot flicks his hair.
Mm-hmm.
With the amount of gifts I've sent, just of him doing that, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So,
but then Elliot flushes the toilet and goes while Parker puts up a no order sign. Or out of order sign.
Okay, I have to mention this.
Okay.
Okay, so when he picks up the knife, he doesn't pick it up like any normal person does. He does the little flippy thing. He flips it.
No, that's when they go back.
Yeah. But yeah, when he picks it up
back,
the second time.
Yeah. But the toilet
he
flushing.
At first to look at it, he's like,
yeah.
And sets it back down.
Yeah. The toilet flushing was added by Christian. This
really
dumbass here decided to flush the toilet.
Really?
And also, it's kind of cool how they shot it because it shows like the overhead.
Yep,
and then like they shot it through the mirror.
Yeah, that was really cool though.
That was cool, yeah.
And kind of trippy.
It was kind of trippy, yeah.
I have to I have to mention this. I was trying to like pause so I could write some notes for that particular fight scene. And I paused it. I should have sent you the screenshot, but it was freaking hilarious. And the face that CK was making in that moment when he punched the guy, he was making the duck face, and I'm like, I was on my bed laughing so hard I was crying.
Oh my god. And so then Sophie takes Marissa back to her seat. And it's like, everything's gonna be fine. And Carson's like, maybe not. Like, because he's found Hardeman's laptop and he gets sidetracked by a secret compartment. But then Hardison reveals that he found Hardeman's emails and discovered he made a stop payment on a fund transfer to Ehrlich. And it's weird. Elliot has like his fingers up to his nose, like he's like adjusting his nose.
Or he's like kind of feeling because he got punched in the face. He's just trying to feel
like maybe he's feeling if he's like broke his nose, because then he like grabs a napkin and like you can see that there's like blood on the napkin.
Yeah, he could.
So I think he got a bit of a bloody nose.
Yeah, he was feeling for like swelling. He's like, oh, there it is, and he found the spot. Because I've done this before. Bleeding. Like I've like felt for the spot where it was bleeding. So I could put pressure on the outside and then stick a tissue up underneath to catch the blood.
Yeah.
And that pressure point stops it from bleeding. But yeah, he's like, he didn't waste any time. He's like, oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
He's done that before.
Yeah, he definitely. Because Parker's like, the guy we just took out. And Ella gives her a look like, really?
Really? You mean the guy I just took out?
You mean the guy I took out? And Parker's like, you mean the guy Elliot took out? And then Hardison also reveals that he backtraced some phone calls, and Nate guesses they're to the Cayman, someone in the Caymans. And Elliot points out that like there's no reason why Haldeman would should be talking to Ehrlich directly. And then Nate suggests that maybe Marissa isn't the only name on the hit list, and Haldeman's going to take them both out.
And they have like this real group realization of like,
Because Elliot
crap.
points out that like Ehrlich's a pro because he had the ceramic knife, so like he know if he was being set up. But then Nate asks, oh my god, Nate asks Elliot how he'd do it, and Elliot says the easiest way is to take him out in transit, which Sophie realizes means
she
bringing the plane they're all on.
And she's like,
no, she's like, bring down the plane they're on. You mean bring down the plane we're on?
Yeah, and I
So
have
this
quotation marks. She has the look of on her face of crap.
Yeah, okay. So this is where shit hits the fan.
Again.
Because shit just got real.
Yep.
So Elliot's like getting everyone to their seats. And Nate, Sophie, and Parker meet up in the aisle, and Sophie's like, there's no way Haldeman's gonna go this far. And Nate's like billions of dollars, decades of jail time. Like he's a desperate man.
With billions of dollars, he could buy his way out.
And decades of jail time, yeah, he's gonna be desperate. So Sophie's like, okay, then like we have to ground the plane now. Like, we'll tell the pilots what's going on. Nate's like, no, like we need to know what we're dealing with here. Because at this point, they don't know. They don't know how like the plane's gonna go down.
Yeah, they don't know how exactly bad the situation is.
Obviously.
Well, no, but like
how they don't know. The cause.
Like, is there an
crash.
explosive bomb? Like, what?
Is it?
Like, they don't know what.
Is there a computer virus on board? What's going on?
Did someone have like an
for
explosive bomb hidden in their bag, or like what? Nobody knows. Like, they don't know what's going. Like, what exactly? They just know that like the plane's gonna go down.
Or are they gonna target the co-pilot or the pilot and drug them somehow?
Yeah, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
So basically, Elliot comes back over to join the huddle, and Nate's like asks Elliot how he'd do it, or how he'd get a bomb in the plane. Elliot's like says like post screening in the cargo hold, either in Ehrlich's bag or Marissa's. And Parker is gone way before Nate can even tell. Parker to like go to the cargo hold to find the luggage.
Yeah, he's like, where'd she go?
Because
Nate just lets her go. And then tells Elliot that they gotta talk to Ehrlich.
Yeah, he kind of had the look of like, really?
seriously, I just
Poor Nate.
Out.
Yeah. So, except they don't really get to talk to Ehrlich as he's still out good. Because when he knocks someone out, they tend to stay knocked out, which turns out to not be true in later seasons. Because every single one person he's knocked out has always like gone back up.
Okay, that's
yeah, but the look on his face was like, well, they tend to stay knocked down. He's like, well, what did you expect?
Well,
and they share a look of like, you have to wake him up. He's like, well, I kind of don't wake up when I hit them.
But
and then
also,
he leans over and he's like smacking his face, like,
yeah.
Wake up, like gently. I would have like backhanded him to wake.
Wake up.
But also, Elliot tends to make sure they stay down permanently.
Yep.
Beforehand.
He doesn't kill them, but they
He used
out of the
to.
hospital.
Yeah, he incapacitates them enough to where he can get away.
Yes.
But yeah, this is one of my favorite quotes from Elliot.
Yeah, like when I knock people out, they tend to stay knocked out. So Nate finds some luggage tags and Elliot grabs a knife, spins it,
He did the flippy
and
thing.
hit the spinny thing.
I need to learn how to do that. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I need to learn
I've
how.
tried. It's pretty much impossible. It's got to be balanced evenly.
Yeah.
Like like the weight has to
I
be
mean,
even.
I have the
prop knife.
Balance, though. That's
yeah, that is true. It's not balanced. It's just plastic.
So is my knife. My knife is handle heavy.
Yeah, mine is handle heavy too.
Yeah. So Elliot grabs a knife, and they leave. Parker gets in the cargo hold, saying she needs to find an inhaler.
Yeah, the
Sophie,
flight attendant is asking questions.
yes. And that poor flight attendant, too. Like, when they go back into work after this is going to be one hell of a story.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's gonna be fun.
So, Sophie gets the description of Marissa's bag, but Parker's like, there's nothing in there. Or Ehrlich's bag. Hersey then asks, like, if Parker has her phone on her, which Parker does, and he has her plug it into, or asks if there's a computer interface system to, like, hook up. And Parker does find it, and he tells her to find an AV cable, which Parker just starts digging through luggage to find. But she does find one.
You know, I talk about wanting to be on a team like this all the freaking time, but I guarantee you if I was in that situation, I wouldn't know what the frick I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would need more context, but I've seen an AV cable before, but I would need more context and like describe what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
I know cables by their name, but if you tell me what it's used for, you got a better chance.
Yeah. Well, Parker plugs her phone in, and Hardison, and she's like, what are you doing? Hardison's like, oh, I'm just hacking into the plane's electrical system from 3,000 miles away. And if you were a geek, you'd be turned on right now. I'm just saying.
The fact that he forgot that he's got the comment.
But Hardison, keep it in your pants. Jeez.
I don't think that's an issue for him.
Shit. Wait, for Alex. What is she doing? Oh, you good?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
First, Alex freaking says, freaking roast Christian his inability to get a girlfriend, and then you
What I missed.
you freaking roast Hardison.
Okay, so you know how Hardison tells Parker that if she was a geek, she'd be really turned on with that whole thing he did with the cable and hacking into the plane and whatever?
I said,
Kelly said, keep it in your pants, Hardison, and I'm like, I don't think that's a problem, Berg.
oh my god, we
Nerd.
just
Not just because he's a nerd. Who's the last time you heard from
Son
oh my god.
solid relationship we've seen him be in is with Parker.
True.
Actually, that's true.
I apologize for the train noise that you're about to hear.
It's fine.
Again.
Yeah, so then it actually starts getting serious because Hardison's like, I'm getting some real weird signals, or I'm getting some weird readings, like like, is there anything tapping into the conduits?
The Wetowitz?
The conduits.
This is
Basically, it's like, is there anything that's connected that shouldn't be, that's like emitting a signal that's close by?
Yeah.
Okay,
Basically, is
i.e.
there something that shouldn't be
Yeah,
there?
i.e. like a phone or something like that.
okay,
Which
That's
Parker
emitting a
does find
signal.
something.
aside
Yeah.
from like the obviousness of a phone, how would the average person know what's supposed to be plugged in and what's not supposed to be plugged in?
Looking at the schematics.
I don't know.
Like, you got time for that.
Parker.
Yeah, Parker does find something.
Parker's brain goes like this.
Yeah, and then
True.
Hardison very quickly puts together that that Haldeman's tapped into the black box. And Parker's like, no, it's not
orange.
black, it's orange. Hardison's like,
yeah.
the black boxes are painted orange to make them easier to find in the debris.
Okay, but then why don't they just call them the orange boxes?
And Parker's like, oh,
Oh shit.
like, fuck, we're screwed.
We're screwed. We're dead. We're gonna die.
Yep.
And this goes into the whole black box, or it's like shorthand in the writer's room. Black box is a fact that sounds fake but is real.
Yeah, and it's
Sure.
basically
Is a fake fact that sounds real.
Yeah, it's basically what a black box is. It's the on deck recording device for the cockpit. If the plane were to go down, they could figure out what the heck went wrong just by the audio alone.
Well, and
Leading
it
up to the
also
final.
records all the data too.
Yeah. The in-flight data of the computer system. It's basically a big chunky flash drive and a recording device at the same time.
Yeah.
In a way.
Okay.
But Hardison kind of goes like spirals a bit here because he's like, this means, well, a little more than a geek spiral.
A little bit.
But
Or like a panic attack.
yeah, he is actually spiraling to a panic attack because he's like he's saying that they can like spoof any data to make it look like it was just system failure, and Parker sees the screen starting to go crazy, and then now it's time for them to alert the pilots.
And is the plane already starting to crash?
Not just yet.
Okay.
It does in about 2 minutes. But basically, Elliot and Nate bust into the cabin, and Elliot flashes his U.S. Marshal badge. He's like, listen to me. I'm a U.S. Marshal. And he points to Nate and is like, this is Tom Baker. He's an engineer and a consultant with TSA. Tom Baker, yes, to get the Tom Baker release back. Well, I'm pretty sure that's just so if they check manifests, it's consistent, but it doesn't matter. And then because it's at that moment that the autopilot disengages itself and the plane starts dropping in altitude.
Fast. It
It's going down fast.
It started to go like this. It started shaking, then it pitched ever so slightly downwards
so the
and went.
Plane. Sophie's getting tumbled around, trying to get to her seat. The oxygen masks fall.
This is why I don't fly.
Everyone's screaming. Yeah.
They're panicking and they are dropping out
fast. How do you think I feel? Because I'm going to be flying to visit you for Thanksgiving.
You'll be fine, babe. I promise.
I mean, like Parker said, you're more likely to die in a car crash than you are in a plane crash.
With my dad's driving, that's almost a guarantee. I'm surprised I ain't dead yet.
I'm keeping my mouth shut. Okay, carrying on. So basically, Nate tells the pilots that someone's hacked into the navigation system and they're trying to bring the plane down. And then he's like, Hardison, we need you. Hardison's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can do this. like you'd have to start the electrical system, which I don't know how to do because my knowledge of aeronautical engineering is limited to what I can pull off of Google the next 10 minutes in. Like, I'm not sure if our ship could do this. Parker's just
Did you quote that whole thing in your notes, or did you just off the top of your head?
just off the top of my head.
Oh my god.
That's impressive.
Yeah, no shit.
And Parker's just getting tumbled around in the cargo hold.
Tossed around like a rag doll.
Okay, but
Poor girl.
she shouldn't have gone down there then.
And Nate then goes full dad mode, is telling her like you can do this. Like, I trust you. There's no matter how many times you goof off or screw up, you always come through in the clutch. You're the only guy I can count on in a situation like this.
So hurry up and get your ass in gear.
Basically, is what it's like.
That was
It also
cute.
shows that, like, we can see already that, like, Nate's viewing Hardison as sort of like his heir apparent kind of thing. But also, he knows how to push whatever buttons necessary to, like, get the job done. In this case, he needs Hardison focused so he can get them out of the situation. So Hardison's, like, pumping himself up. Nate's egging him on. Hardison then guides Parker through what he needs her to do and tells Nate they can't, like, reset just yet. But the plane's dropping fast, so, like, time's coming up short. Hardison,
Yeah.
like,
There's a limit. When a plane is going down, I'm pretty sure there's a limit to when you can pull up.
yes, because after Hardison cues Parker to pull the last clip, and Hardison gives the cue to reset, and the pilots, like, reset the electrical system, they're saying that, like, we're too low to, like, pull up, so, like, we gotta land. Which they land on the 7-mile bridge in the Florida Keys.
And that this event kind of happened like this. And it was a
I have a note
electric-
about that.
it was
I've
an
heard about
electrical
that.
error. It was a computer on set, like, onboard, like, glitch. They found out, so they shut it down enough. They powered it down enough to where they could just do manual.
Mhm.
Took off the autopilot, and they actually landed it on that bridge.
Isn't that the basis for the movie Flight?
Yeah,
So, can you
yeah, it
imagine
is.
a car on that bridge when a plane is landing on it?
Oh my god, that would be
gosh,
terrifying.
I would have to change my
Like,
pants.
I thought pulling up behind a bus, like pulling up, like,
That would be terrifying. Yeah.
that
But-
freaking plane.
Yeah, I love how when the plane's going down to, like, land, it went from, like, actual plane, like, sort of looking real to, like, computer generated CGI.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, Elliot and Nate go back to their seats.
Try not
Nate,
to die.
Nate asks if Sophie's okay, and Sophie's like, "Are you okay?" And Nate's like, "Ask me again in 10 minutes."
He's, like, freaking out. Like, I bet
He
his heart
is.
is up to here.
Then
Poor
Sophie's
kid.
like,
Poor
"You're
guy.
gonna remember this one, are you?" And it's like, "Oh yeah."
Poor Elliot's just like,
Poor Elliot. He's got no one to comfort him. Or he's got, like, no one.
okay, but even if somebody asked him if he was okay, he'd just say, yeah, I'm fine. It's cool.
True. But the plane touches down. It's a bit of a rough landing, but they land safely.
Obviously, if you're landing on a bridge.
Yeah.
Of
But
course it's gonna
everyone's
be bumpy.
cheering, and Elliot, like, grabs the hand of the woman next to him, and Hardison,
Aw.
like, rightfully starts celebrating, which is almost all improv by Aldis.
He's like, you good. You're good. You good.
Yeah, because he's just celebrating. He's like, whoa, yeah, like, ate the cake too smooth. Like, and then he's like, you cool?
I'm
Like,
gonna
you
call
cool?
my mom.
And it's like, we're cool. And she's like, all right, family. It calls him family. He calls them family.
That's adorable.
And this is only episode 8.
When Ellie and Nate like meet up inside the plane, and Nate tells it like, all right, I want Marissa off the plane now. Hardison, your guy's about to find out his smoking gun's not dead. Get out. So Hardison leaves by acting like he got fired. So they get off the plane, and Nate reveals Haldeman reveals to Marissa that like Haldeman didn't take like all this evidence, because Marissa's like, no, like I wish I knew how to like thank you guys, but Haldeman took all the evidence I had. And it's like, well, not all of it. Cue Haldeman discovering his freaking PC all tore up, wires hanging
The
everywhere.
hard drive gone.
And what's on top of the little computer modem thing?
Is it a party hat?
The birthday party hat.
Oh yeah, because Hardison had said it to the coworker.
Cheryl and Stu, that is his
Yeah,
birthday.
Birthday.
So they're having a birthday party for him. And Nate convinces Marissa to testify against Haldeman. So back at HQ, they're watching the news report about Haldeman getting arrested.
Which is always so satisfying.
Yes.
I know.
And
Dirtbag got what he
It's the
deserved.
perp walk. That's
Yep.
what it is.
He
It's a
got-
perp
yep.
walk.
Yep, he got what he deserved.
And he's doing the whole like trying to cover his face thing. Which is like, everyone knows what you look like, asshole. Like,
Why are you doing
Like-
it? Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, he's embarrassed is what it is.
you got caught doing some fucked up shit.
Own up to it, asshole.
I went up to it,
Exactly.
yeah.
And what does Hardison say?
Well, he comes in and is like, I love it when a plan comes together.
A-team
What?
reference.
You woke up late, dumbass.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, the A-team reference.
I
Yeah,
know.
but yeah, and
Yep.
everyone's
And-
so pissed at Hardison.
I grew
And
up
then
watching-
okay, my final note after that was like, this implies that this crew is quote the A-team, but who's the B team?
I don't think there is a B team
No.
Not
Well,
yet.
we could make a B team.
yet.
It would be
The Leverage International
Chaos.
teams.
Well, I was thinking more Quinn and them later on.
Yeah.
From the Two Light Crew job.
Or two love crew
That one.
job, yeah.
That's the B team.
we could also do the
I'm
last
excited to
job.
get to that episode. Oh yeah,
Exactly.
to team
Yeah.
up in the last damn
Yeah.
job.
Yes. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one is gonna be fun to talk about. I absolutely love it.
And
those,
I have yep. There's some certain quotes.
I think I
that
may
I'm
have a
mention.
tissue warning.
But
I have a list of like all the ideas, and a few of them I have like tissues, emotional damage warning.
Emotional damage.
No, because like some of these I'm gonna need tissues.
True.
what I love about Hardison's saying that I love it when a plan comes together is I grew up watching the 80s.
Yeah.
Grew up watching Knight Rider, The Incredible
Oh, Knight Rider. Forgot about that. one.
Target. It's
Oh,
actually on Netflix.
I watched the original MacGyver.
That too.
Which, fun fact, I share a birthday with Richard Dean Anderson.
You
Cool.
what now?
I share a birthday with Richard Dean Anderson. We were both born on January 23rd.
cool.
Wait. Okay. All right. I'm going to continue on, but while we're continuing on, yeah, I share a birthday with Richard Dean Anderson. We were both born on January 23rd. Babe, I think
Hello.
Cameron's malfunctioning.
Yep.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I know I broke Cam. Oh no. Babe. Babe, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
hold on. Alright. Crap. So then
We
because
love Anderson.
really, yeah. Why am I using I have freaking here. So
I did malfunction for a second there.
and so because everyone's still pissed at Hardison, they give him the silent treatment. And
Very immature of them.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Ellie also gives him like the dagger eyes at one point. Like
Yeah.
he looks up and
Yeah.
looks towards him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna freaking murder you.
Mm. Yeah. And then because Nate and Sophie are alone, they get to talk about the thing that's been going on all episode. In which Nate's like, well, it took 10 years, but we finally had our first crash landing. And Sophie's like, you got it right this time. And Nate's like, Nate goes into a bit of a smart ass mode because he's like, it was 10 years ago that I saw you. You were swiping a Degas from a collection in Prague. And like, I saw you, you saw me. And so it's like, I ran, you chased. And Nate's like, well, it was 2 years later that you turned around, introduced yourself after I caught you in Damascus, and it would be 8 years next month.
And she seemed very like shocked.
Yeah,
That's my
like,
babe, that's
well,
my brain when it comes to things like that. I will remember every fucking detail and prove you wrong.
No one likes a smartass.
Shut up, Alex.
Make me. Oh shit!
I'm trying to. What the fuck did I miss? I feel like I missed a look because I wasn't looking.
They did the thing.
Oh.
Just give it, Alex.
But in real life.
Yeah, I told you. I don't need to do the photo. I do it in real life. That's why
Okay,
I believe you now.
I know how to do it.
I believe you now.
Good.
Okay. Okay, I found it. Okay, so. Alright. So, yeah, so it's like, well played, but then Nate kind of gets caught. It's like, you. Then the leverage theme starts playing as Sophie like goes up to Nate, leans in his ear, and is like, I still don't understand how you can mix up Paris and Tuscany.
Honestly.
And she leaves, leaving Nate there, and he has a smile like,
absolutely.
touche.
He's like,
touche.
Well played.
Which apparently there were scenes, like, I think this is like what it was written, but like didn't have like time to like film it. But with the whole Paris and Tuscany thing, there was supposed to be like flashbacks to like what actually happened in Paris and Tuscany. But apparently they got cut, and they were also very charged. So that's probably why they got cut.
I can't even look at you right now.
All right, and that's actually the end of the episode. So, some final notes I have, which the director, Rob Minkoff directed The Lion King
I love
and Stuart Little.
Favorite movie.
I love that
That was
movie.
one of my. Lion King is my favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love Lion King.
And also, they looked at like airplane disaster movies to like get the idea for to get the idea for this episode.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And so it's
If one of them wasn't snakes on a plane, I'm gonna be mad. Aside from the obvious adultness of that movie, is actually pretty good.
yeah. But and this was also meant to be a bottle episode, but it became too big. An airplane it's a real airplane set, and they built like 80 feet of fuselage to like on the soundstage, and
Wow.
this aired a few days after the Miracle on the Hudson,
With
because the original
with the pilot Sully. Right?
yes. Which another fun fact, I
I've
share a birthday
watched-
with him as well.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We were both born on the same January 23rd. Yeah. Yeah, we were both born on January 23rd. Mm-hmm. So yeah, funny connection there. But because it had aired like a few days after that, had that event gone, because they were originally meant to or one of the drafts was they were going to do a water landing.
Yeah, we've
But when they were but up until the Miracle on the Hudson, there had never been a successful water landing, which is why they went with the 7 Mile Bridge instead. But had the Miracle on the Hudson gone worse than it was, they would have just scrapped the episode altogether. But it turned out okay, so we got the episode. And apparently, so on IMDb, they were saying that like the names were like Haldeman and Ehrlich were people involved in the Watergate scandal.
I actually looked that up, and that's actually legit. That's actually
Well,
factual.
yes,
Which
but
surprised me.
the original reason why those names were chosen was because they're the names of Amy Berg's United Talent Agency agents. So that was the
Very
shout
cool.
out to them. But I don't, but yeah. And originally, they were talking about in the audio commentary how this was originally going to be this like complicated airport con, where like they were going to switch out Marissa for Parker because she was wearing this like red wig that was in the bag of toys, and like it was meant to be this like overly complicated airport con. But they decided to go more the route with the plane crash. So yeah, those are all my notes. Alex, do you have any notes? Any more notes?
That was pretty much it. But I will say, I have to mention this again. When I paused the episode, the face that it paused on with the bathroom fight
There are
scene.
some funny phases. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it was like the duck face.
Never pause a leverage show.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the duck face expression when he punched the guy, and I was like, I had to pause it. I had to set my phone down because I was laughing so hard. Sorry, Christian. I love you, but that was freaking hilarious.
I swear, if that man doesn't know we love him, he's blind, deaf, and stupid.
True.
Yeah. So, Cameron, do you have any notes?
No.
All right. Well, overall, I actually thought this episode was really good because, like, because not only did we get Hardison kind of stepping up to bat, but we got more like father-son stuff between Nate and Hardison. And I just love seeing Elliot fluff his hair.
Okay, but that's like every other episode.
True. So, you could say that is all my notes. So, the next episode, the next leverage episode, I believe I should have looked at this beforehand,
Probably.
but I'm an idiot.
No, you're not.
Ah, yes,
You just
okay.
got
I thought that was
sidetracked.
what it is. So, the next leverage episode is the snow job.
Is that the one where it's drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
Scene
yeah.
in that one.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about, because I know the scene I'm going to be talking about is when Elliot says, like when he tells Elliot, like, or when Elliot tells Nate, like I ain't I ain't your daddy. You can drink yourself to a coma for all I care. Choice of words.
It was that one, but also another one.
But yeah, so that's the next leverage episode. Though, okay. So yeah, gonna kind of. All right, so I guess that will be all for now. So I'd like to thank our. I just realized we're at 2:17. I think this is the shortest episode yet.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, it is kind of. Cameron is the reason why.
Yep.
So I'd like to thank our parent company, NAPCO.org, our sponsors, West PA's, our electrical design consultants, West PA Systems. You can go into my coffee page and buy a coffee to support the podcast and me as a creator. You could follow my website at kayleecentelacting.com. You could follow me on Twitter at MissMovieFan_67. You could follow me on TikTok at MovieFan_67. You could follow Alex on Instagram at AlexCooper7241. You can also follow Alex on Twitter at Alex_Alleycat. And on TikTok at AlexTheAlleycat. And you can follow Cameron on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Cameron_Jansen_. I had a lot of fun.
I do too. Aside from the fact that my brain was really separated and I was on my phone for most of the time. But
I mean, I
Yeah.
was multitasking. I was playing on my phone and doing the podcast. So.
I have to multitask once in a while, otherwise my brain is just like, we're going to fall asleep now.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Yeah. So as I said,
yeah,
the next...
I was literally like cracking up at the fight scene. Like
I
I was playing
know.
it in my
That
head.
is... You gotta give him props for fighting in that tiny ass space.
That and
I wouldn't
I
die.
learned really quick. Yeah, I learned real quick. Don't freaking pause the Elliot freaking fight scene because the faces that he's gonna be making are freaking hilarious.
That's why you don't pause leverage.
I know, but I had to write something down like really quick, otherwise I would have forgot it. So I paused it and it was like,
All right.
and I had
So-
to set my phone down.
Yes, this is fun. So the next leverage episode that we're going to be talking about is season 1, episode 9, the snow job. And I believe the next podcast episode, we're going to be talking Almost Paradise, Season 1, Episode 7, Uncle Danny. That one's going to be fun.
That's like one of my top favorites.
Wait, have you seen
Paradise.
have you seen Uncle Danny yet, Alex? Or Kim?
Kim?
I've seen like half of it.
Okay.
I paused it like halfway through.
See, I told you it was not like the Rise of the Kalange.
Yeah.
It's like a complete 180
It
from
is
that
sort of a
episode.
180.
All right.
All right, so that
I
is
had
all
way
for
too much fun with
today.
this.
If you're watching this after, you could go in the episode description for all these links, and you could subscribe, like us, like the podcast on Facebook, and leave a review on iTunes, and also if you want to message my Twitter or my TikTok for any suggestions for any media you want us to talk about.
Yeah, because after we do Leverage and Almost Paradise,
Well, Almost Paradise comes first.
yeah, we may or may not do Librarians, but
I kind of want to
after
do
that,
Librarian. Oh, I also have, because I have a list.
Oh, brother.
No, well, because it's the only way I keep track. Because I have like all Leverage, all of Redemption, and I have all of Almost Paradise.
we're gonna do Redemption.
Of course you do.
Well, we kind of have to do Redemption because it.
Fair.
Of course.
But that is, yeah, and that's the one of the things I have is hide. Yeah, that one's definitely getting an R rating.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
For more reasons than one.
Yeah, no shit.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yep.
So,
All right.
hope you enjoyed this episode, and see y'all next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.